Martell Holt and Melody Shari's situation isn't just surprising, it's a complete game changer that might make you see their whole story in a different light. There's new paperwork, new court details, and behind-the-scenes moves that finally explain what's really going on in this custody and child support battle. And trust me, every single part of this matters. When it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville, peace never lasts long. Every time fans think things are finally settling down, something else explodes online. And this time, the drama isn't just about social media posts, it's about real court filings, child support questions, and the ongoing tension between Melody and Martell. So here's what's happening. People have been asking if Martell managed to avoid that child support order. And I've seen the paperwork. Once you hear what's in it, you'll understand why the internet's been buzzing. But first, let's be real, nothing between these two has ever been simple. From custody fights to co-parenting struggles, every turn has come with more complications. Let's go back a bit. During last week's court hearing, everyone was watching to see what the judge would decide. The courtroom was tense, and while folks expected fireworks, what actually happened caught everyone off guard. Martell had filed for a continuance, basically asking to delay the hearing. He claimed he needed more time because of scheduling conflicts, but Melody's team wasn't having it. They told the court, "No more delays. This case has been dragged out long enough." And honestly, they had a point. The case had already been postponed multiple times, though to be fair, some of those early delays weren't Martell's fault. They came from Melody's side. She was waiting on the results of another legal matter, a criminal case, that could have influenced this one. That shows you just how layered this whole situation really is. So while people online were busy speculating, both sides were quietly getting their evidence ready. But when the time came to finally move forward, Martell wanted more time, and Melody said no. She wanted the judge to make a decision once and for all. And that's when things took a major turn. In Martell's filing, there were a few statements that got people talking. One in particular. After that, any chance of mediation went out the window. When the case went back before the judge, Melody made it clear she wasn't interested in negotiating. She wanted final decisions made. Then came the topic everyone's been waiting for, child support. When people hear that term, they assume money's about to start changing hands. But before that happens, both parents have to provide financial documents to the court, proof of income, expenses, and assets. Without that, the judge can't make a decision. And here's the twist. Neither Melody nor Martell submitted their financial paperwork, so the judge couldn't issue any ruling on child support. The official order states, no award of child support as no information was provided during the hearing regarding income of either party. So technically, Martell didn't avoid child support, it just wasn't determined yet. There's a huge difference between the court saying, no child support ever, and we can't decide right now. It's still very possible that child support could be added later. For now, Melody has sole physical custody, meaning the children live primarily with her. Martell still shares legal custody, which allows him to have a say in decisions about school, healthcare, and other major matters. But in terms of daily life, the kids' routines, their activities, their home base, that's all Melody. It's clear the judge wanted stability for the children, and Melody has consistently provided that. Even though she dropped the domestic violence charges earlier, which shocked many people, that decision might have been tied to her effort to move forward peacefully. She might have been hoping to start fresh, focusing on co-parenting without more legal drama. But when things fell apart again, she made sure this final hearing brought her closure. She didn't walk away with a child support order, not yet, but she did walk away with primary custody. That's a major victory. Now, some fans have asked if Martell even showed up for the hearing. Reports say he didn't. Melody was there, but he wasn't. That never looks good in front of a judge, especially when key issues like custody and finances are being discussed. Between his absence, the missing financial documents, and the breakdown of mediation, this whole case has been hanging by a thread. But one thing's for sure, it's not over. The current ruling can always be revisited. If either side submits new financial information or requests a modification, the judge can reopen the child support discussion any time. So while Martell might feel relieved that he's not paying right now, that could easily change later. And honestly, you can tell the judge was frustrated that neither party provided what was needed. It's rare to see both sides come to court unprepared on financials, especially in a case this public. What this means is that for now, Melody has what matters most, her kids. Martell still has a voice in legal decisions, but his hands are tied on daily involvement. That shift alone changes everything. Now, let's look at what this means financially. Martell's had a rough couple of years. Business ventures have been hit or miss, his reputation's taken a hit, and his public image hasn't helped. If he's struggling financially, avoiding a child support order, even temporarily, gives him some breathing room. But that relief won't last forever. Once Melody decides to pursue financial filings, the court will calculate what's fair. And Melody? She's been thriving. From her music and speaking engagements to her brand deals, she's been handling business quietly and professionally. Even if Martell's claim is true that she still earns from the show, that just proves she's still making smart financial moves. She's thinking long-term. Her silence lately says everything. Usually she posts quotes or scriptures hinting at what's going on, but this time she's been calm. And that calm looks like peace. When someone's been fighting battles for years and finally gets a win, peace speaks louder than any post ever could. Meanwhile, Martell's silence feels different, more uneasy. You can sense the frustration, the pressure. Online, fans have been divided. Some sympathize with him, others say he's facing the consequences of his own choices. Either way, this outcome stings. And that's where the real lesson is. Courtrooms don't deal in public opinion. Judges don't care who's trending or who looks good online. They care about consistency, maturity, and who provides a stable environment. And lately, that's been Melody. The guardian ad litem, who represents the kids' interests, also played a major role here. Their report likely supported Melody's case, emphasizing stability and structure, two things she's consistently shown. Now, as for Martell, this ruling might affect more than just family matters. Public perception can impact brand deals, opportunities, and partnerships. With his name constantly linked to drama, people start to see him as risky. That could cost him more in the long run than any child support order ever would. Melody, on the other hand, has turned her pain into progress. Every setback she's faced, she's turned into fuel. That's why this ruling feels like more than a legal win. It's a full-circle moment of empowerment. And honestly, she hasn't gloated, she hasn't dragged him online, and she hasn't tried to embarrass him. That's how you know she's done, truly done. Her focus now is her children, her growth, and her peace. At a major role here. Their report likely supported Melody's case, emphasizing stability and structure, two things she's consistently shown. Now, as for Martell, this ruling might affect more than just family matters. Public perception can impact brand deals, opportunities, and partnerships. With his name constantly linked to drama, people start to see him as risky. That could cost him more in the long run than any child support order ever would. Melody, on the other hand, has turned her pain into progress. Every setback she's faced, she's turned into fuel. That's why this ruling feels like more than a legal win. It's a full-circle moment of empowerment. And honestly, she hasn't gloated, she hasn't dragged him online, and she hasn't tried to embarrass him. That's how you know she's done, truly done. Her focus now is her children, her growth, and her peace. At the end of the day, this ruling wasn't about who could talk louder. It was about who could stay grounded. And Melody proved she could do just that. But here's the thing. This story isn't over. Legal cases like this often come back around. If Melody or Martell decide to reopen the financial part, we could see another court date in the future. So don't be surprised when another update surfaces, because in Huntsville, there's always another chapter. So to sum it up, Melody has sole physical custody, they still share legal custody, and there's no child support order yet, but it could come later. Mediation was once an option, but it fell apart. And right now, all eyes are on what happens next. So what do you think? Did Martell really dodge child support or just delay it? Do you think Melody is going to take this back to court, or is she done for good this time? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Because if history tells us anything, the next one's gonna be explosive. Thanks for watching, y'all. Stay tuned because this story, it's definitely not over yet. So after Tasha K dropped her explosive claims about Martell, the internet basically broke. Fans started piecing timelines, reposting old clips, and digging up receipts from months ago that suddenly started to make sense. You could almost feel the tension rise across social media, with everyone asking the same question: how much of what she said was actually true? Because let's be real, when Tasha K speaks, people may doubt her delivery, but they don't ignore her details.